Oh yeah, we're talking about the Power Rangers movie. Let's do this. So for those of you who know me, and for those of you who don't, I was a massive Power Rangers fan when I was a kid. It pissed my parents off a lot. And when they announced this new film, I was actually one of the only ones in my family that was actually excited for it. Everyone was telling me this is gonna bomb, it's gonna be shit, no one's gonna like it. But I was the one that was like, it might be good. Let's just be hopeful. Now we get to see who's right. So the film more or less follows the premise of the first season of Mighty Morphin. These five teenagers find the coins, they find Zordon and Alpha, and he's like, hey, you five are the Power Rangers and have to stop Rita from destroying the Earth. Well, actually, there's another reason she wants to take over Angel Grove, but I'm not going to spoil that for you. So let's talk about the good things first, because surprisingly for a Power Rangers film, there actually are more good things than bad. First of all, the acting in this film is surprisingly good. I mean, they kind of have to be. They're the backbone of the entire film. If their acting sucks, then the film sucks. But no, they really pull it off. The standout to me is probably Billy, the Blue Ranger. I mean, he has probably one of the most character developments out of the originals. It seems like Jason the Red Ranger, Kimberly the Pink Ranger, and Billy the Blue Ranger are the three that you know most by the end of this film. Zach and Trini, you don't really know that well, just because they introduced them quite later on, but honestly, we all know them quite well. And my favourite scene of the entire film is actually the campfire scene. For those of you who've seen the film, you know what I'm talking about. The reality of this film, though, is that they don't actually morph out and you don't actually see them in the suits until the climax, but honestly, I was okay with that because I was enjoying the characters so much. Whenever the five or one of the five was on screen, I was actually really engaged, and that is incredibly rare for a Power Rangers film. When I left the cinema, I was actually legitimately intrigued as to where they take these characters. I'm being dead serious here. And of course, we have to talk about Bryan Cranston as Zordon, because when I first heard the casting choice, I was like, that is perfect casting for Zordon, because, you know, if I want a mentor, Bryan Cranston would obviously be my mentor. And he's actually been in Power Rangers before, back in Mighty Morphin. He used to voice a couple of the monsters, so kind of came full circle. Now, I have to talk about Elizabeth Banks as Rita Repulsa for a second. Now, if you're new to my channel, and for those of you who aren't, you'll know who I'm talking about. I went to go see this film with my 16-year-old brother, Ben. But he loves horror films. Now, when we first see Rita, well, first of all, there's a whole sequence at the beginning where we see Zordon's team. So you see Rita there, but the first time you see Rita in present day, it's like something out of a horror film. You know, the way they find her, and even Ben admitted that it freaked him out. So yeah, when you first see Rita, it is really spooky, and I was like, okay, this is really cool. I actually want to see her go up against the Rangers. However, as the film goes on, it feels like she kind of got a bit campier with the role, and I was like, you used to be cool. What happened to you? So by the end of the film, I was like, whatever, you're just a threat that I would see on the show. And I don't know what happened. Maybe they kind of lost their way while writing Rita, or maybe this is something Elizabeth Banks decided to play the role, but I don't know. By the end, she just felt like any other kind of villain you'd see on the show, not the horror-style threat that we saw at the beginning. I was kind of disappointed by that. But in short, the film was absolutely kick-ass, and I really loved it. Absolutely looking forward to a sequel. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to go celebrate Mother's Day with my family. Alright, talk to you later, guys.